What's up, everyone? Um, this is this is a special day for me, and I've had a lot of special days since the Eagles won Super Bowl 52. And I will say this as a channel update, because I know you've been waiting very patiently for the next season of the Fan series to start up. Okay, maybe not, but for those of you who are familiar with my Season of the Fan series, I've done it now 4 previous seasons. This is going into season number 5, the season with the ring to it. Of course, for the Philadelphia Eagles, me being an Eagles fan, going through a season with you, the viewers on YouTube, and taking you into what it is to be an Eagles fan. And before last season, it was a lot of frustration. Of course, we went through the Chip Kelly years, and in the first season with Doug Peterson as head coach, and you started to see things turning a little bit, and of course last season. And before I get to this item, look, last we saw in the Season of the Fan series, I was as happy and proud as can be because it was soon after the Eagles had won Super Bowl 52. I was at the parade with my buddy Mark M. in Philly, and I mean, the moments, the memories, they last a lifetime. And I've always said this, and I will always say this. Being a fan of a team puts you through so much. A lot of angst, a lot of trying moments, particularly with these teams here in this city. But I'll tell you what, there is nothing better, and there is nothing ever that's more satisfying than seeing your team finally win a championship. And I saw the Phillies win in '08, and I was at that parade, and I got to tell you, I will always have fond memories of that one because that was the first championship I saw that was old enough to really appreciate being a Philadelphia sports fan. But that parade, as great as it was, nothing will ever compare to what I saw last winter when I went to that parade for the Eagles. That Super Bowl championship parade was incredible. And it was incredible because of all the people. It was incredible because of all the stories that we were able to tell one another. Oh, remember this moment, remember that moment, retracing, moments from years ago when we didn't win, when we lost in the playoffs or we didn't make the playoffs or what have you. And you didn't have to go that far back to when it was as low as you can be, during that final season with Chip Kelly, when he, of course, was released before the end of the season, to just a few short seasons later, we're Super Bowl champions. And all my fellow Eagle fans out there, all my good friends out there like Big Slim and of course, the crew, the captain, and Mark M, and, all the people, my boss, everyone who I've known for a number of years, and we're all, fans of this football team that have frustrated us for so long, to finally get it was tremendous. And I can go on, make this video for over an hour just telling you stories about, what we, shared. But I won't. My buddy Big Slim picked up an exact replica of the Lombardi Trophy for Super Bowl 52. I'm gonna have a picture. He brought it with him when he came for a visit, and we were able to put it up on the table. I got a picture of it near my it's actually my Chip and Dip Eagles helmet, but took a picture of it there. But see, that's what it means to us, and it means so much because we've had to endure so much. We've had to go through seasons that some of them are great, and then you get to the playoffs and you get the letdown. We saw Super Bowl 39 when they lost, to the Patriots, and then of course, everything that's come in all these years, and to finally have that in the most remarkable way with all the injuries, the key players, Pro Bowl players, a future Hall of Famer in Jason Peters. The list goes on and on. It's a story that you've heard 100 times already, but it's unbelievable. And throughout that whole time, throughout how that season was developing and all the different ways they were winning games, despite the injuries and everything that was going on, And then in the playoffs, just how everything's set up, I said, this has to happen. Because of all years for this team to win, it would be this one. Because it's a Philadelphia team. Nothing's ever going to be perfect when we win. It's never that perfection. There's always something. There's angst involved. There's injuries. There's always something. Julio Jones at the end of that playoff game almost catching the ball. How many years have we sat and gone through where Julio Jones catches that ball at the end of a game? It's everything that went into it. And, of course, you go to the Super Bowl and you play against a dynasty, the Patriots, right? A team it's just one of those one-for-the-ages teams. And, of course, we have to beat them to be the champions. And I couldn't have thought of any better way than how they did it. And then, of course, they do it. They withstand Tom Brady having his greatest Super Bowl ever, statistically, to win a Super Bowl with our backup quarterback and Nick Foles. It just, the storylines are endless. The story is endless. It will live on forever for this team to finally win a Super Bowl and just how it happened. It just, it brings a smile to my face. I can't stop, thinking about how incredible a ride that was. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with Eagles Nation here, but it was remarkable. It was, I get goosebumps just thinking about it now. And for any of you who saw my reaction video during the game, during Super Bowl 52, that's what it is. That's emotion. Being a fan is emotion. And it's going to be good emotion or bad emotion, but you're going to have emotion. It's a roller coaster ride. And I will say this right now before I open this item here. I do hope, and I know that there's plenty of fans out there with teams have yet to win. I know Bills fans, Vikings fans, Panthers fans, whatever the teams that haven't won, Browns fans, haven't won a Super Bowl yet. I do wish, and I do hope that all of you get to experience it. Because trust me, it's everything that you imagine it would be. And then some. When you're a fan of a team that has yet to win, and you're going generations and decades without it, when you finally get that moment, it's something that you can't even put into words. You just can't. It's an incredible thing. Everything that goes with it. If you're fortunate enough to go to the parade, and even if you don't, just appreciate it. And embrace other people, appreciate with other fellow fans of that team. And I hope that all of you have a chance at it. I really do. And that comes from the bottom of my heart. Because I know I've been on the other side of it for too long. And part of the reason why I wanted to get this particular item is because there were so many others of other teams, rival teams to the Eagles, who told me, who kept rubbing rings in our faces and Lombardi trophies in our faces and telling us that you're never going to get it. Look at us. We got 3, we got 4, we got 5. You're never going to get 1, and all this. Just, it was endless. And look, until the team wins, they're going to keep doing it. But of course, this season, they can't do it. Now, they can throw, we got 5 or something like, okay, all right, you do. That's wonderful. I got 1. I'm happy at least to have, hey, look, in the rest of my life, I can always say I saw it. I saw them win the Super Bowl. Not only did I see them win a Super Bowl, they beat the Patriots to do it, okay? But all that talk about rings. Oh, my God. It was like, you're ringless. You don't have rings. Rings. They kept bringing up the rings so many times. It was almost like the Lord of the Rings movies, right? For Frodo. I wanted to call them Frodo. The ring, all this stuff. And that's Gollum. But, for the ring, it was just ingrained to me that, the Eagles had championship rings from before there were Super Bowls. But, of course, to a lot of these fans, they don't care. Because a lot of these fans can't think beyond the Super Bowl era where, I guess football didn't matter back then. I don't know. I have no idea. But to a lot of these fan bases, it's like, well, you don't have a Super Bowl ring, so it was endless. It's not just that the Eagles, the last championship they had before last season was against Vince Lombardi's Packers. Okay, the only time he ever lost an NFL championship was to the Eagles in 1960. But okay, All right, but you know what? Whatever floats your boat, right? They just kept going on about the Super Bowl rings. We don't have Super Bowl rings. We don't have this. We don't have that. For years. And we're talking when I was in middle school on. And a lot of the fans were Dallas fans. Oh, we got something for them this year. Oh. I'll tell you one thing. This season is the redemption tour. Every week, every game against these fans, particularly the Redskins, Giants, and of course those wonderful Dallas fans, those local Dallas fans who it was too difficult to be an Eagles fan back in the day. So we're going to be Dallas fans. Well, okay. How's that going for you now? Is that going all right? You doing okay? How's that VHS tape from the last champion? You still have to blow the dust off of it? I guess so. Oh, it's wow. They're envious of us, and I can't get enough of it. And look, a lot of the fans have been very gracious, and they have been giving the congratulations. I've seen a lot of different videos, Dallas fans, Giants fans, whatever, being congratulatory for us, and I appreciate that. I do. And as a fan base, thank you. But we're not done with you. Oh, this whole season. And the many different seasons to come. It was something out of a fairy tale book what happened last season. It really was. It was just the most unbelievable run that ended with confetti on Broad Street and Jason Kelsey's wonderful speech that will live on in lore in Philadelphia history for forever. That speech was one of the all-time greats. No one likes us. We don't care. But, you got to endure a lot as a fan. And, you go through the ups, you go through the downs. And through this series, you've been able to see that for those of you who have paid attention. You can always binge watch it if you want. Go back to where it all began, those years ago. You go through a lot, and there's a lot of emotion, and there's a lot of, it's hard to explain. It's because you have a love of something. When you have a love of something, there's going to be passion, there's going to be emotion. And being a Philadelphia sports fan, of course, an Eagles fan, you got to go through so much, it seems. I think we're in a good time right now. All four of our teams are on the upswing. Of course, the Eagles won a Super Bowl. The Flyers, the Sixers made the play. If the Phillies make the playoffs this year, for the first time in a long time, all four teams would make the playoffs in the same calendar year. And that's what happens when you win a championship. It ups the game of the other teams in the city, it seems. You almost take that fast track because you want that. You see that parade, and you want that. It doesn't always work. Obviously when the Phillies won in 2008, it took until, the Eagles winning almost 10 years later to win another title. Of course, Villanova, mixed in a championship there and, of course, won again. Go Cats. And but it ups the other organizations' games because they see that and they're like, well, we want that. It's just weird how it works that way sometimes. But I'm excited for the upcoming season. And as I was, my usual long way about getting to the point, right? I will have the fifth season of Season of the Fan in earnest starting at the end of the preseason, like I usually do. So what I like to do is I like to just get through the preseason. Let's see how what's the roster look like. Are there any big injuries? Are there any big concerns or big storylines going into the season? Of course, I try to break it down. Then I try to do my wonderful preseason picks that have just gone wonderful every year. But I like to do that at the end of the preseason, maybe even getting into that fourth preseason game because that game all the backups are playing anyhow. It's the backup bowl basically. But I usually like to wait until then, because you know what? Then football, you just get that sense that football season's really coming. Here it is. The start of the season's just around the corner. Let's get into it. And of course, this season, for the first time, the Eagles will be the opening game. The banner will be raised. I already raised one here, but their actual banner will be raised, of course, that Thursday night against Atlanta in Madden. That didn't go well for me, but we're gonna move on from that. I think I've gotten a little better now. I've readjusted sliders. I think, we're not gonna have the interception bowl like I've been having. So, but no, I will be getting into the Season of the Fan series in earnest by that last week of the preseason, and it's going to be a special year, obviously, defending champion for the first time in franchise history, Super Bowl champions, that is, and just all that goes with that. And I do believe this team has staying power. I do believe that this team will be competing again, not just for next season, but for the foreseeable future. They have really set themselves up well. And I'll get more into that in that video, and as we start the Season of the Fan series, enter the Season of the Fan Season 5 with the ring to it, because I got to take a sip from my Eagles cup here, but I am certainly looking forward to that, as I always do. I love doing that series. It's a fun series for me to do. Of course, last season was the best one to do. But hey, win or lose, it's something I love to do. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Philadelphia sports fan. I'm very passionate about it. And of course, when you win a championship, it takes it up to you got to step your game up even more, right? You got to step up a notch like they did. So I look forward to it coming up this season. So let's get into this pickup. And I wanted to get this. I know, and the amazing thing to me, when you think about it, Fanatics.com sold more championship merchandise with the Eagles than any other team. that just goes to show how much it meant to us. Of course, we're all about, celebrating the Eagles, but then you open the wallets up a bit and you keep getting stuff. I still find myself getting shirts from time to time. Of course, now they're deep discounted, but like I just picked up a championship shirt at like a Ross for like $3 the other day. So I keep getting stuff, but it is what it is. Hey, first Super Bowl championship, you gotta live it up, right? So this is an item, and I didn't get an authentic because they're just way too pricey. Obviously with the real bling on them, but I did pick this up. It's the first time, this is an opening for me. This is the first time I'm seeing this. Okay, so I didn't open this. I wanted to film like I did the Super Bowl 52 reaction. I wanted to film this. I hope there's no tape on this because I didn't bring anything to open it. Okay, so here's the box. There it is, just in case you forgot. Super Bowl 52 champions with the Eagles logo on there. This is a nice box. And then I open it up. Ooh, here comes the moment. Hope you should know what's in here, okay? So here it is. I'm going to let you see it first. I'm opening the box. Oh, look at that. There. Oh, no. Fumble! Okay, so let's try that again. I did not expect it to do that. I didn't, but it was wrapped. So, oh, there it is. Okay, I caught it that time. There it is. Okay, so Carson Wentz or Nick Foles, I'm not. Look at, oh, that's heavy too. I didn't realize how heavy this was. Holy crap. No, this is a replica of the Super Bowl champion ring for my beloved Eagles. Oh man, this thing is heavy. And it is a replica, not authentic or anything like that. The authentic ones are way too pricey. And I don't think the authentic ones look exactly like the ring that the team was given. I think there's some differences there. But this one is as close a proximity to it that you can find. And, ooh, this is shiny as hell. Wow. This is nice, the detail. I did not expect this type of detail either. This is, wow. Wow. My boss actually picked up one like this, and he showed me the one he got. And I actually got this from another source, being eBay, but, oh, look at that. There it is. Super Bowl 52, look at that, World Champions. And it has the logo on the side with family, which was their theme from last season, all we got, all we need. right? And on the other side, now you can either get Wentz or Foles. This one didn't actually tell me which one I was going to get. And I kind of guessed it would be Foles. So it is a Nick Foles MVP, Super Bowl 52 MVP. I think that's pretty cool because Nick Foles was the Super Bowl MVP. So with all due respect to Mr. Wentz, who I believe someday will be a Super Bowl MVP, Foles got his MVP. And on the back it says, "Fly, Eagles, fly." And on the inside of the ring, it has the it has the famed dog mask. I don't know how well you can see this. It might not show up that great, but it does have the little dog mask on the inside. Of course, that was their big thing from last year, the underdogs, and it has the Eagles logo. 2017, 44-33, and it has all the other scores too. The Atlanta score, 15-10, and then the 38-7 blowout over the Viking fans. Blowout over your Vikings in the NFC title game. There was a guy last year. I don't remember his name, but he kind of trolled me last year. He was a Vikings fan, and he was telling me, "Oh, Eagles." Is that after Wentz got hurt? He's like, I'm sorry, it was after the Seattle loss. It's like the Eagles had gone so long without a loss, right? And after that Seattle loss, he comes on my channel, he starts talking smack. And what happened to your team there, buddy? Not only did we beat your team, but we won in your stadium. Thank you. So I had to get myself a championship ring. For all those years, those fans kept trolling me. "We got rings." Kiss it. Okay. In fact, I did get it for a certain finger. Because I do want to remind, those fan bases who always told me we're never going to have a ring. There you go. There's our ring. I made sure I got the right size. It's funny. My buddy Big Slim and I, months ago, when he came visit, he brought the Lombardi Trophy. This thing is nice. Wow. I'm impressed. Usually, sometimes you see stuff like this. It's not... This is impressive. This really is. It got a little Lombardi Trophy on there. Ooh, look at that. So he came over to my place for a visit, and he brought the replica Lombardi Trophy, which is the scale. The thing is impressive. And we went to a local mall, and we're sizing up our fingers. and we did say, because there was an ad for these rings on Facebook, and we were going to get them on Facebook, and we didn't actually, but I'm like, and I'm like looking, I'm like, do you know your ring size? Because I don't know my ring size. He's like, no. I'm like, we better, when we're out, we better do that. So like, here we are in the mall, and we're getting our fingers sized for rings. And we're getting Eagles Super Bowl championship rings. They're like, "Oh, okay, believe me, you're not the only ones." I think this is also the fan base that's going to have most of these rings, that these rings have ever been around. I think Eagle fans will have more of them than any other fan base. I think we'll win that too. No, this is impressive. This is really nice. I did not know what to expect. Look, I mean, I got this thing cheap off eBay. Okay, I didn't pay hardly much of it at all for it, and like I said, it's a replica. It's not the authentic or anything, but hey, I'll take it. It's nice. There was also an option on Facebook to have your own name engraved on there, and I thought about it because I thought, hey, you know what? If there's any fan base that deserves rings, it's us with our names on it because of all we've had to go through. And maybe someday I do it, but you know what? I'm like, hey, you know what? For however much this cost, I'm just going to get it. If it's Foles or Wentz on the side, it's Foles or Wentz. Both of them had a big part to do with last season anyhow. And to have Foles, the Super Bowl MVP, on the side of it is pretty cool. So, yeah, this is nice. And it does have that nice little display box that I'm going to put it in again. This time it's not going to fall. So, yeah, that is nice. That is a nice item. And I'm going to wear that every now and then. If it's a big game, I'm just going to, have it, and hopefully it gives us a little more luck. I got to tell you, I'm impressed. I am impressed by that. I did not expect it to be as nice as it is. I remember years ago, I went to a San Francisco Giants game, and it just so happened to be one of their first home games of that season, and they were giving out rings, and like not a box like that, just like a regular display, like cardboard box, and, and it's the only championship ring I had to date until this one. This one means a little more to me, though, with all due respect to the San Francisco Giants. And there I was in all my Phillies stuff. I was just visiting. One of my cousins was getting married in Napa Valley, and my dad and I went out there, and he had a friend, he had a buddy that lives in the San Francisco area, and he took us to a Giants game. His Giants actually got blown out in that game against the Cardinals, but just the fact that they gave us rings. And there I am walking around the stadium with my Chase Utley jersey, right, representing Philly, of course. And people were like walking up to me, and like, "Hey, do you have your ring? Can you just give it to me? Because I didn't have it on me at the time, but it's the only time I ever got a championship ring, and it wasn't even for a team that I really follow. So it just happened to be I was there for that. It's a nice ring, though. I was surprised. I'm like, usually you get these like giveaway items and. Some of them are good and some of them are eh. And the ring, it was impressive. I'm like, oh, this thing's like a real ring. But this one takes the lead now. And I was also thinking about picking up a Phillies ring too from '08, just to have the ring from the other championship that I've witnessed in my life. But I may have to now. This thing's nice. Wow. So, yeah, as I gaze upon this again, who's the Lord of the Rings now, right? I shouldn't wear it around them. Yeah, who's calling who Frodo now, right? No, boy, that's surprising. I did not expect it to be this nice, really. And I did see my boss's ring. That he showed me, and I'm like, well, I don't really know what to expect. I got this one off eBay, who knows? And yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's nice. So I wanted to share that with you, just in case you forgot who is the defending Super Bowl champion. And again, for all those fans who kept throwing rings at us all those years, and what we're never going to get a ring. You're never going to get a ring. There you go. Here's proof that we did get a ring, and there you go. I'm not rubbing it in too much, am I? No, never. Anyhow, that's going to do it for this vid. Thanks for spending your half hour with me here as I rambled on and then showed you a ring that I was like scared of it because it felt like, uh-oh. Don't tell me I broke it. Oh, no. These Eagles fans, you can't take them anywhere. But I wanted to share that with all of you, so I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, Season 5, the season with the ring to it, will start in earnest at the end of preseason, the last week of preseason, and then we will move into the season where for the first time, again, in franchise history, we're doing so as, yeah, you may have heard, defending Super Bowl champions. Just saying. Really looking forward to it. Hey, I hope they play a little better in preseason, though. The first two games have been, and I know there's been a lot of guys out and everything like that. It hasn't been, the roster that you're probably going to see that Thursday night game. But come on, guys, let's pick it up a little bit, all right? All those Patriot fans are all happy now because they won the preseason. I mean, come on, is this what it's come to now, New England? Have you really stoop to that level where now you're happy because you won a preseason game against us? Because the last time you played a meaningful game against us, we all know what happened. I mean, do I have to remind you again? I know you got 5 of these, but I just this is what I needed. This is what I needed. Oh. So yeah, they're all laughing it up because they won a preseason game. You've won 5 Super Bowl championships. Are you that petty? I think they are. Yeah. I mean, they like the deflated balls too, but we're not going to get into that. But anyhow, we're going to move on, and I will be back as far as the Eagles are concerned with Season 5, the season of the fan, and like I said, last week of the preseason in a few weeks, and we'll get geared up for another season, a great season to come. Hopefully, we'll have some more hardware to show off after next season. But we'll get into that later. Hey, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But Season 5 is coming up, a Season of the Fan. I look forward to it. I hope you do too. And join in with me as we go through another Eagles season. So, all right, everyone, take care. Thanks for watching. And big shouts to all in Eagles Nation. Enjoy this. Continue to enjoy this. And we, of course, have a great season to come. So looking forward to that. All right, as always, go Birds. I'll see you on the next vid. Take care. Bye.